Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks for watching wherever you are. My name is Bruce, and this is Trust the Rust on YouTube. Today we're going to be trying to finish up the 51U TN. If you hadn't seen it, we had a PTO problem. Got it figured out. Watch the last video. Today I need to get this finished and put back together. So I need to take this off, get it cleaned up, get it painted, put it back on, fill it full of oil. It's really, I think, all I need to do to this and clean up my mess. Then we'd start to need to be making loads of loading tractors on trailers and getting them to the showgrounds. This is I believe our 52nd anniversary of the Puget Sound Antique Tractor and Machinery Association's club. Their Vintage Farming Days is coming up this week. Starts August 2nd, so Wednesday, and it runs through the 5th of August, which is Saturday. So it's a 4-day event. Tractors, hit and miss engines, threshing. There's a John Deere building, the barn, the Berthusen barn, all sorts of different displays. We have tractor pulls going on all 4 days. No hot rod stuff, just all antique stuff. But I don't think there's no trophies until Friday or Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday is just like a test and tune, just get you set up. So anyway, let's get you set up and we'll start taking this apart. So first off, I'm gonna scrape some of this goop off. This PTO came out of a 1942 U Moline parts tractor. I finally got everything I wanted off of it, so I took it to scrapyard last year. Made a nice little chunk of money on it, plus all the parts. I mean, I could have thrown this away, but it was after that I realized that I needed it. So I'm glad I took this off. It's kind of oily here. There's a rope seal in behind this nut for a gasket. So I'm thinking I might finish getting this cleaned up. I might take that nut off. I have some sisal rope, and I might cut some and try putting it in there. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, years of sitting outside, years of being used. Golly, can you imagine the stories these tractors could tell if they could talk? Times they got stuck, how they got pulled out. They never got stuck and pulled somebody out. I mean, what if they pulled out of, say, a John Deere or an International? Talk about bragging rights. Now, if they could talk, hopefully they wouldn't talk about how they got stuck and got pulled out by John Deere or International, Oliver, Massey Ferguson. You know, you just keep that to yourself. You just tell the good stories, right? How they went through a fence or got driven into a ditch because the operator fell asleep. I mean, that'd be terrible. You wouldn't tell that to anybody. Oh, yeah, I don't know how much. That might be about it of the big junk. So, no, yeah, there's some. I want to get this cleaned up. I noticed a lot of people, when they paint, they'll paint the ends of the axles black, not necessarily the factory color, but just to give it a little different look. They'll do that with the PTO as well, but then if you actually use the tractor or want to use the tractor, there's not very much clearance between the PTO shaft and the PTO drive arm. or the PTO unit in the PTO shaft. So all of a sudden you go to put it on, you can't get it on. So I think I'll just take a wire brush to this shaft here on the unit itself. I'll just wire brush it, get it nice and clean. Man, look at that gook. Built up for years. Anyway, we'll get this all cleaned up and get it in, finish getting the big chunks off, and we'll put it in the wash tank, and we'll catch up with you later. Okay, so we got part of this cleaned up after we had it in the wash tank. It's just a 3M red soft wheel. It's a wore out one. It's my last one. But this is what I started with here. That's what I'm getting. So it doesn't have to be a wire wheel to do the job. So let's try and get this finished up, and then see about getting it painted. Well, that's about all I got for that red wheel. As you can see, it's about the size of the arbor, or the nuts on the arbor. So we'll get a wire brush out and maybe a hand pad similar to this, just being hand pad form, and we'll get the rest of this cleaned up in here, around here, and wherever else I can find. Well, that's pretty clean. I used this wire brush, another screwdriver, a gray hand pad. I don't know what how rough that is. Not too bad. Finished getting around here and the handle, cleaned it up pretty good. So now I'm gonna wipe it down with some acetone, and then I'm gonna go see if I have some I know I have primer. Don't remember if I have paint for this. Oh yeah, look at all that rust dust. I have to do this a couple times, or a few times, whatever it takes to get it all off, or all the dust off. Oh yeah, it's just falling apart. Just think about what that thing looked like when we started. Oil and goop all over the place, and well, there's moss growing on it. Get some more acetone. There we go. Well, I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Today's the last day of 29th. Oh, it's the 30th. Okay, it's 30th. We're almost in August. Holy cow. I don't know about the rest of you. Has your time flown by? I don't remember being this busy before with family stuff, which is good. Nice weather to do all that with. Yeah, here I am touching everything I just wiped, huh? Wipe that down. Oh, you know what? I was going to take this jam nut off. Back that set screw off, take that nut off, because that's where the rope packing is for the seal. So before I get any farther, close up my acetone so it doesn't all evaporate. Let me get some tools and see if I can't get that off. Alright, I don't know how easy this is going to be, because it's not mounted on the tractor or installed, but we'll give her a whirl. Shouldn't be terrible, but I don't know, maybe I have to put it in the back, install it back in the tractor, and then take it apart and get it to move, but it's not happy about it. Alright, the heck was that? Before I hurt myself, huh? Put it up here. There you go. Make sure that's wiped off any concrete. Find the shaft, there we go. Bolt in over here. You won't have to tighten them, wrench or anything. Just put a couple in. Oh, come on. that one too tight. I don't want to line up. So we'll have to, oh, there we go. Buzz them in lightly. That. That. All right. Now we'll see. Back that off. It sure feels stuck. There we go. Definitely not getting easy by any means, but it's coming out. I was just thinking about that. I'm going to get it all cleaned up and painted. I'm just going to use rattle can paint. I don't have any paint for a gun. So it's not going to be anything super nice, but I don't want it to leak all over either, right? Seats in the way, tools under my foot. I don't have a wrench big enough to put on here, so here I am using a pipe wrench, monkey wrench, whatever you like to call it. It's getting a little easier now. What I'm afraid of is I'm going to make this worse for myself. And I might have had a little leak, but shoot, what if I make this a bad leak? There we go. Maybe. There we got it. Put that there. Huh. I am not seeing anything in there. Let me get a light right over here. Yeah, I don't see, I don't know if you can see this. Click on that, bring you over here. Yeah, I don't think you can see that on camera. I can't get you any closer the way I am right now. Anyway, there's no rope in there. I believe that's where the rope's supposed to go. So I do have, like I mentioned, some sisal rope. I'll cut some and see if that'll fit. That way I have something in there. I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the rope I got. I just stuck it in there. That'll fit. I'll make that go around and meet up. I'll tuck that in there. And hopefully, oh, I almost had the right length. Hopefully that'll stop any leaks. Let's see, we'll put that right there at the top. Pull it snug. I don't want to cut it too short. So we'll cut it just a smidge long so I can tuck it in there. Use my tin snips. Yeah, we're using tin snips on a rope. Ooh. Oh yeah, I know it's off camera, but that cut nice. It's really dry. It's real dry. It's just crunchy. So I'm going to put the seal at the top, or the ends of the rope at the top. Man, is this the right thing to do? Anybody? Somebody stop me. Here we go. It's going in. I know it's got to be like better than nothing, but maybe sometimes nothing is better than what I'm doing. It's in there. That's what it called for, is a rope seal. I mean, I'm guessing this is... I mean, I've put a rope seal on the rear main of my G1000 and it was not that kind of rope. So, get this cleaned up. This seems to be like a packing nut. It's got to be, if the rope... I mean, according to the repair manual, you put that rope seal in and you put this in and crank her down and make it snug. If it starts to leak, it looks like you just back the jam nut off, put some more turns in this to put more pressure on it. I've never done this before, so let me know down in the comments if I made a mistake. Now I'm thinking it's probably going to leak a little bit to start with. Because that rope is so dry, it might take a little bit for that rope to absorb some oil. And you know, now that I think about it, I probably should have soaked that in oil before I put it in there. Good grief, I can't remember what I did with that rear main on the G1000. It's been a lot of years since I worked on that thing. Let's get rid of that out. Get out of the way. So now that jam nut or set screw has messed up my threads, and that's probably why I was having a hard time getting this nut out, packing nut. Oh man. Up against something, I think. I'm trying not to smash a knuckle. Still turns. It's almost as far as it was before. Oh, that's pretty tight. That still turns nice, so I'm not putting any pressure on that bearing. I did that with the old PTO before I took it out. I was turning this down to try and seal up the leak on it, because it leaked bad too. And when I tightened this down, it made this hard to turn. Like, I had to put some pressure on it with my hand to get it to move. This one, no problem. That's pretty snug. And that still turns, so I think I'll call that good. I'll turn that down. Oops. That I don't think needs to be super tight. It just needs to hold on that thread so it doesn't back off. There we go. All right. So take this out again, my wrench. That, like that. Got some oil on my hands. I'm trying to not to put oil back on that bare metal. Again, I'm going to leave this bare. I'll tape this off right here, right next to that packing nut, and then I'll, yeah, we'll get some primer on that. Again, I'm pretty sure I've got some Prairie Gold Yellow. We'll have to go check. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go set this down and we'll be back. Huh, I went and put, what did I just put away? Oh, my tin snips away from cutting that rope. I just found the rope seal puller. So you don't, when you replace the rope seal, you don't have to drop the crank all the way out. You just loosen all the mains. It gives you enough slack, and you can push out the old rear main seal, rope seal, and you can install a new one, which is how I did it. You know, I don't think this has ever been taken apart. If they did, they used the proper tool. So anyway, it was funny talking about rope seals and doing it on the G1000, and in that same drawer, there's the tool for it. Okay, that's pretty good. Put that down, because I don't need stuff on that, because I'm going to wipe. I want this surface clean, and the surface on the back where it's going to mount to. I want that to be clean. Again, I don't have a paper gasket for this, so I'm just going to use some silicone gasket maker. Alright. One more wipe. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Again, this is no prize winner, but has the old paint job on it. Sat in the dairy barn for several years, and you know, the acid in that manure is just going to eat paint, eat metal. So it made the paint blister or peel up in several spots. So maybe if I ever repaint the whole tractor, then we'll strip this down better. Let's see how this paint goes. All right, close the acetone up because the stuff will evaporate. So especially if you forget it and walk away. Okay, let's go over here to my paint booth. There we go. Right there. Okay, I'll get some. Okay, I have red oxide primer, which is like the original type color they put on here, but it is no good. I've had 3 cans of it and it's all garbage. So I'm going with some paint primer in one, just to get a coat on there, basically a primer. I do have some yellow. It says Prairie Gold number 1. I really need number 2, but I'm running out of time. I mean, I did start this project 2 weeks ago, but you still have other obligations. Putting a light coat on it, shake it a little bit, more paint. Make sure we get all the angles and dangles. And stand it up. Oh, it likes to spin. Get the underside of that. Get the edge. And my thinking is, if that number 1 yellow that I've got is like for the G1000s and some of the other later models, maybe the black primer will make it show darker a little bit. Of course, now I'm thinking, what if that can's no good? I guess it goes black. Oh, there's still some paper towel on there. There we go. All right, we're gonna let that, lay that back down, let that dry. I'm gonna try to. There we go. Okay, we'll be back when it's time to paint, or unless I find something else to do. Okay, so while that primer is drying, I do have something else I can do. I can clean this up. And that's why I put that rag there, so hopefully a lot of the chunks would fall. I can just pick it up like this, throw it away. Now I need to clean this surface. There's no gasket on it, but there is oil. So, open up a can of this acetone again. I could do the brake cleaner, but I don't want to spray it into the transmission, the rear end. So, seems to be some rough stuff on here. Peel that off. Almost good enough, but I think I'm going to get my gasket scraper and see what I can find. Don't go anywhere. No need to yell. I'm coming. I'm coming. All right. See what happens. Oh yeah, there's a little bit. Little bit. Little paper right there. Not bad. Oh, that's a little dry and crusty right there. Let's see, we'll go this way. Oh yeah, they definitely didn't get that. Totally clean. All right, that should do it. Oh, maybe a little more right there. Stuff sits in between the PTO unit and the rear end. I don't think this was cleaned very well when they painted, because the paint lifted, and this is the line right here. The paint lifted and I got loose paint. Didn't necessarily want the paint to go in. Okay, I think okay, I'm gonna call that Sweetie. All right, wipe that down again. Nice clean surface for that silicone to set up on. Ooh, yeah, I'm glad I scraped it, because I'm getting more off now for sure. Wipe the inside of that out. I'm gonna wipe it one more time. And then I need I need to put the drain plug back in. So now we're getting close-ish. My yellow paint doesn't spray out. Like I said, we'll just leave it black and we'll put it on here. We're making preparations. Move this along. I mean, I thought I would have been done a long time ago, or 2 weeks ago when I started this. There's a little bit of mist. Because, again, I thought it was just this shaft sitting in here, and I would just have to take it out and swap it. And when that didn't happen, Plan B came into effect, which I hadn't totally made up yet, so I had to make it on the fly. Alright. And that hole out a little bit. There we go. Cap my acetone. I said acetone. Don't get crazy on me. See, and then right up here, I went in the house and looked at the book. And this here is where I put the oil in. Undo those 3 cap bolts. We'll put a funnel there, and then we'll start dumping oil in after we get that PTO unit back in. So, yeah, things are going a little slower than I'd hoped. We're making progress. I am going to clean these bolts up, at least the ones for the PTO unit. Then I'm gonna clean up the deck. It's got oil on it. Tired of walking in it. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Next step, I'm gonna get the bolts off of that up there to fill. I'm gonna clean these 6 bolts, and then I'm gonna see if we can put some paint or put some color on that PTO unit. We'll be back. Okay, take the cap off. That was nice. Oh, there's one. There's 2. There we go. Come on. Got it. Get that out of the way. There we go. Huh, still a paper gasket there. Looks like they put some blue silicone on there a little bit. I don't know if that was necessary, but all right, we're getting closer. So now we got to find, see if we can find a funnel, acceptable funnel. Oh yeah, we'll use this one. It's my fuel tank funnel. I just dropped this inside the fuel tank. The hose keeps, I mean, the neck here is too short, so I put this hose on there and it keeps it from falling out if you don't pour right, or if you pour to one side and it wants to tip it out. So, and then the loader tractor, I'll go over here and quick show you. Over here, they put the loader frame right across the fuel tank, so this won't fit into the fuel tank on its own. So I put that hose on there really to drop all the way down in the tank. The funnel sits up here on these 2, and I can pour the gas no problem. Now I need to take that hose off. Well, maybe I don't. I don't know. Let's take a look. See if it sits on anything. Oh yeah. Right there. Something right there. Alright, so I'll put you down. I don't know. I don't think I can get this hose off, so I'm going to put you down and I'll get this hose off. Yeah, that was a good idea. I needed 2 hands to get that off. So the funnel's sitting in there. Oh, I got to get... What's that? I'll just cast. Okay. I need to get my drain plug just right here. Need to find a wrench that I used. It's 11/16, 3/4. Okay, 11/16. I used get a bigger wrench. You can use the open end or closed end on the square nut. All right, cheer it up there. Don't drop the plug again. Haha, success. It's in. Thing drained for 2 weeks. Way more than needed, but like I said, it took time to get back to this. After a long day yesterday doing family stuff, by the time we got done with dinner, it was almost 7 o'clock, and the heck with it. Whoa. I don't know if you could see that, but I did not have that on. Oh, I stripped it. I rounded it off. Whew. Okay, I thought I stripped it. I didn't. So now I'm not sure. I don't know what size that is. That might be 11/16. Take a 5/8 width just in case. Yeah, that's 5/8. Well, turns out I had it tight. Toss those over there. See if we get this bucket out without spilling. Oh yeah, look at that oil. It's all kind of milky looking. I don't know if you can see that. That's the shadows, but it's kind of swirled in there. Not that the bucket was clean, so some of the stuff was definitely in the bucket already. The little items, I'm sure. Make sure this gets in the shop so it doesn't get rained on and filled up. I'll put it right here for now. So yeah, now I got the oil to get rid of. What else? Kind of running out of things to do. I need to clean my hands because I need to see if that primer's dry. And if that's dry, then I can see if this can of paint will work. The Spar-X Super Premium Mini Moline Prairie Gold #1. So I'm thinking, looking at the cap, that's going to be too light of a color, but at least it'll be yellow and not this black, and it won't stand out as bad. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to get cleaned up. I'm going to mess with this paint and see where we're at. Well, that took longer than I thought, but it's dry. Oh boy. That is not coming out. It was coming out earlier when I was trying it. Oh boy. Alright, I need to work on this and make sure it sprays. I'll be back. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Just put a little on there. Yeah, it's a nice dark color. I don't know why it says #1 yellow on the can. Oh, it's plugged up again. Alright. We'll have to, so what I did a minute ago is I took that off, blew air through it, and it started working. So that, and I need to keep shaking the can because I've had that for a couple years. Anyway, we'll be right back again. Okay. Take 3, 4, 5, whatever. That is turned out pretty good. Except I can't get it to stay where I want it. And if I lay it down, there we go. Need to get back side of the handle and plugs and yeah, that'll work. We're going to let that dry and I'll be back for a second coat. Okay, so if this looks a little different than a little bit ago, you're right. I ended up with a second coat on here. I was in a hurry. It's dinner and I had to run to town. So we got 2 coats on this. I'm going to put a third on it, set it in the shop for the night, and we're going to have to get on this in the morning. Because this should be dry in the morning. We'll put a bead of silicone on this, bolt it in place. I got some errands to run. That should be dry, and then I should be able to put oil in it. So we'll hit this one more time. Yeah, this is for #1. This is, I guess, #1 Prairie Gold. I think would be the late 40s or late 30s, early 40s, like the Comfort tractors. I believe that would be a #1, but this is not #1. So we're close to, yeah, it's a #2 for sure. It looks good. Cover's pretty decent. Well, that should be about it. So, oh, there's a little bit down here at the bottom. If you can hear that heavy breathing, that's our dog Shiloh. He's right here. He's afraid of gunshots and such, and somebody just fired off a couple rounds down the road. So then he starts to shake and breathe heavy. So poor Shiloh, yeah. Then he starts to drool. Anyway, we're gonna put this here over here. There we go. We're gonna put that in the shop. Put Shiloh to bed, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh, good morning, everybody. It is Monday, July 31st. It's 6:30 a.m. Last day of July. Got my blue silicone out. The paint on the PTO unit is dry. Gonna put a bead of silicone on here. Now I really wish I had a gasket now, because reading the instructions, it suggests that you don't fill it for 24 hours. I kind of wanted to get everything loaded out today, but we'll see how that goes. I know I could put 5 gallons of oil in this just to move it around the day, or like I said, or like we saw in the last video, I could just drive it with no oil in it. I mean, I just need to move it out of the way because one of the tractors I'm taking is right behind us. So anyway, instructions. Sometimes they're just merely a suggestion, but I want to give this the best chance, so I'm going to do what I can to follow those instructions. There we go. Silicone is on one side. A little clean up. Nope. There we go. Ooh, that's a little thick. That's gonna be messy. Alright, I'll show you what we're working with. There we go. So that's on. I need to put that PTO in right away. Put the cap on the silicone. Coming. There we go. I'll set that in there. Not seating. There we go. Start putting the bolts in. Oh, gotta line it up though. There we are. Huh. Now that I'm looking at my bolts, I should have painted those yesterday too. And I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but it's a darker, has more orange in it, I guess. A little bit darker color, but cool. So there's dew on everything this morning. And as you saw, I have this tent set up over my head. You know, keep the tractor dry, keep me in the shade. Well, I don't have gutters on the shop, and it is dripping water onto the tent, and the tent's dripping onto me, and it's cold. I'll complain later when it gets hot, or I don't know what it's supposed to get to today, but when it warms up, I'll complain again. Okay, it says to do finger tight until the stuff squishes out. And then in an hour, I think it said to torque it down. So we'll come out here in about an hour, we'll torque it down with impact. All right. Yeah. Get all those, make sure they're okay. So, man, I gotta get from underneath that tent. Gonna get wet. About an hour will come out, we'll torque these down, and then we'll see if this silicone is dried up or not. If it's dry, then I'm gonna take a razor blade knife and I'll trim all that off so you won't see it. You know, something we could do though, let's take the tape off. If I could find where it overlapped, right there. Oh, there it is. that's looking nice. Now I didn't get all the paint off of this from the factory, or the factory yellow. Still a little bit down in the grooves, but wasn't too concerned about it. Anyway, that is on. We'll let that dry for an hour and then we'll be back. Well, it's been more than an hour, so tighten those up. Ran it a couple times. That's tight. There we go. So the silicone is still somewhat wet. Get that out. Yeah, get that out of here. Throw that on my garbage pile that I need to get to the dump because this is getting ridiculous. After getting all my stuff home and going through it all, just about done going through my piles of stuff. I can start hauling it off. Well, I'll get a rag and I'll get that cleaned up in a minute. But I'm gonna have to let the rest of this silicone cure, and then I'll, like I said, I'll come back with a razor knife and I'll clean that up. Again, I don't know if it comes up on the camera, but this has more orange in it than the rest. But with this light on here, it really, it's hard to tell. But there you go, that shows it a little better. Anyhow, we're gonna start loading for the show today. Get a couple loads up there, if not all three. This one here, instructions for the silicone say to wait 24 hours, so it's I don't know, tomorrow morning, about 6:30, I should be able to put all 15 gallons of oil in it. I will get this moved out of here in a little bit. I'm not going to show filling the thing full of oil. We already know the thing runs. Saw that in the last video. I'll get the PTO shield back on. So again, our show runs Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Today again is Monday, July 31st, so it's only 2 days to get loaded, but it's only like for me it's like an hour round trip to load up a couple tractors, get there, unload, and get back. Maybe just over an hour, so it won't be too bad. But when you get to the showgrounds, you always see people you haven't seen in a long time, and then you end up visiting, so it makes an hour trip into a 2-hour trip, and next thing you know, half your day's gone. But I love meeting all these people or seeing them again. So I mean, it's not just showing their tractors, it's showing the equipment. It's about getting out there and making new friends and seeing old. So I really enjoy that. So if you're in the area and you want to show up, go to Berthusen Park. That's where, up here in Lynden, Washington, that's where the show is going to be held. Again, the club is the Puget Sound Antique Tractor and Machinery Association. The show is under Vintage Farming Days. And hey, if you see me there, come say hi. Yeah, again, tractor pulls are all 4 days. There's thrashing, sawmill demonstrations, drag saws. Those will be in the woods between the north field and the south field. We have a great place for the tractor pulls. It has the track is down below a hillside, so natural seating for everybody, plus bleachers. So anyway, we are going to have some of the tractor, this tractor is going to be here. I'll turn you around. My favorite R is going to be here, or be there. And let's go out here. Krusty, my Farm All H. Of course, he's got to go. Hey, this is Krusty's 20th anniversary. Basically, in what was it? 2004? Yeah, 2004. I guess it's 19 years. 2004 was the year that I ate at our show, and I decided to take a project there and work on it. When I got this tractor, the engine was stuck. So I found another engine that had a good crank in it. This one had the oil pan off. The crank was rusty. I wasn't going to mess with it. So I traded blocks with a local equipment yard. Well, not traded. I paid for it. Gave them mine as a core. Went through the engine at the show. Tractor was split in half, front end here, rear end there. The engine was... Where did I have? I had the engine on the engine stand. I brought my toolbox. I did it inside the small shop at our showgrounds. I nearly had it running. But ran into some issues. It just didn't work out. We had it running, you know, go back to work and you got kids. So, you know, a couple weeks afterwards, in the spare time, I was able to get it running. It's been a great running tractor for me. But she is crusty looking. Look at all that rust. And only one time has it failed me, and that's because lack of maintenance. My points got dirty. The thing would run, but under a load, one day pulling about a year and a half ago, the thing died on me. Couldn't figure it out. Thought it was a fuel issue. It was not a fuel issue. It turned out to be the points in the magneto. Clean those, and it's run great since. So anyway, I'm going to call it for this video. I'm going to try and get this up this afternoon or this evening, and hopefully I can come up with some content for you during the week of the show and maybe have a few extra videos for you. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.